is Herschel Daniels. I'm chairman of Friends of the African Union, and as usual, I drafted Robert to be the chairman of the foundation. You know, a decade ago, I drafted him. It was 15 years ago. Yeah, I say 15 years. He lasted for 5 years, and it was 5 rough.
I was 6'5" at the time. Had hair growing down his
Yeah, so now what can you say? I've had 7 heart surgeries, 6 stents, 5 heart attacks. You are where you are, but what we are is in 2015.
Yes.
Okay, 150 years to the day coming up on June 19th when the last African in America was told that he was free by a Union general down in Galveston, Texas. That's what Juneteenth is about. That's our July 4th. That's the day that the officially last African was told that he was free. Remember, in a couple of days from now, we're shooting this in April, they will have killed 150 years ago Abraham Lincoln.
Yes.
He didn't get to see that day. Okay? Right now, 150 years ago, the Confederacy is defeated. The traitors are routed. Okay? All right? The Union is in ascendancy. It's preserved. Now, in the era of President Barack Obama, who in 2009 said, when this country was founded, I could not vote, much let alone be a citizen, to even think about being the president. All right? We have a method of change in America. We're still on our first Constitution. We've amended that Constitution. And as the chairman of Friends of the African Union last year, we were successful in creating a joint venture under the rules of the United Nations and became a United Nations civil society organizational joint venture that submitted on September 15th a proposal to address institutionalized federal government racism using the United Nations Human Rights Commission Universal Periodic Review. So if anybody wants to know about that, they can go on the Twitterverse and do hashtag UNUPR. Or if they want to know more information on Facebook, they can go on the UN Universal Periodic Review of the United States of America. We were chosen September 15th, 2014, to be one of the nonprofit organizations that has 3 minutes on May 11th, 2015, in Geneva, Switzerland, at the United Nations, on the floor of the Human Rights Commission to give a 3-minute review of the United States to wrap up our proposal, okay, that we submitted. And so now, with this video, I'm opening it up, okay, to people so that they can give comments on it. They go to Friends of the African Union, it's there. If they go to Herschel Daniels Jr. on Facebook, it's there on the photos, but it's individualized, okay, at the UN Universal Periodic Review of the USA. It's on Facebook, it's there, or you can just Google Universal Periodic Review.
And it'll pop up.
And it'll pop up. It'll tell you that the world in the United Nations at the nation state is reviewing each other on what commitments you say. So you say you're for human rights and you put it down in your constitution. You say you sign these treaties and et cetera. Well, the world says, okay, you get a report card. Okay? And so the United States, we're on our cycle. It's our report card time. Okay? President has responded. He's lined it up in 10 areas. And he said the number one problem in America is for human rights is, wait for it, racism. He said the number 2 problem is criminal justice. People will be very interested to find the 10 areas. What we did as Friends of the African Union, we said, for us, we have a solution. Give us $5 trillion. You're authorized to issue $16 trillion. You were authorized that for the financial solution for America under the Bush administration. $8 trillion of this has been issued. People know it today as the what do they call it? Oh yeah, they called it the solution for Wall Street, not Main Street. They able to issue this. People wonder where all this money came from. That's where it came from. Federal Reserve. We've had an audit. People who tell you that they've not had an audit of the Federal Reserve, they're not in the know. We had an audit. That's how we found out that this is available. He can do this by himself. He can say to the Federal Reserve, to the Federal Open Market Committee, to the New York Federal Reserve, we want you to buy this debt. And what does this debt do? It creates jobs. It creates 7 million jobs in America. Okay. How does it create jobs? It buys debt. That means if you're in small business, that means 1 million small businesses, okay, just on the first round get $250,000. That means 7 million working households gets $100,000 each invested. 15 states get $20 billion, okay, that are invested, like here in Ohio, for a bridge, okay, that we need, roads that we need. You know, we got bridges, we got stuff collapsing in this country because we're not investing in it. Those are jobs then that we can have here. And those are jobs that American citizens can have. So what we put together this program that does this, we hired the engineering firm to lay it out, okay? And we put it in as 3 areas. We put it in for housing, building housing, getting rid of the lead, okay? Right? Worse than crack for young kids. Let's get rid of it all. Right? That's a job. That's something that, you know, we could get Johnny, who just came out of jail, can be trained to do that. Okay? So that's why we're doing this in Cincinnati under my brother's keeper of Greater Cincinnati. We're putting it all together so that we can have the solution set that we can show that we can then roll it around the nation through my brother's keeper.
How do people not get a hold of my brother's keeper? That's what I really want to push. So that if they want to get a hold of my brother's keeper, whether they be a church or a private organization or
just the White House.
Just go ahead and
mbkcoalition.org, I think is the website that they have up. But just type in My Brother's Keeper, okay, space White House. It'll take you to the White House site, take you all the information, etc. What you have to do is to get your local political infrastructure involved in this.
I mean, but you've already done it.
Yeah, for here in Cincinnati, we organized. We've met with the mayor to bring them in. Now we're going to have council members, okay, and we're going to come together on Plan Cincinnati, okay, as the basis. You know, we spent 3.5 years planning how this city is going to be. The problem with Plan Cincinnati, okay, it's a wonderful document. It's wonderful time spending on it. There's thousands of pages stand behind it. It doesn't say anything about race in here. Okay. When you go into demographics, it doesn't talk about the 134,000 African Americans here. It doesn't talk about small business development here. It doesn't talk about things like that. So,
how can we get that address?
PlanCincinnati.org. Community by community. That's what we're doing. We're going community. If a community has a plan already, then we're working with that plan.
I dare say most don't, because again, I'm not even sure if most even know about the fact that this exists.
Yeah,
so we need to go and make that happen.
Well, we are. Okay, we started out in Madisonville, Mount Auburn.
Okay, Madisonville, Mount Auburn. I know those 2 places, but I'm involved in both.
Evanston's involved. Okay, they've got a plan. Okay, the Port Authorities in Evanston, Bond Hill. There's about 20 different community plans that are in effect right now. In Cincinnati, out of the 52 communities, there's approximately 20 active plans. Okay, and more as the community council. So what we're looking to do is we have a plan. Okay, our plan is to buy the sewer. Okay, and our plan to do that, we made arrangements to borrow the money to pay the city and pay the county for the next 20 years for the sewer. The county said they'll sell the sewer system for $1.5 million. Okay, and that's $75 million a year over 20 years. All right. What this does is this is money that then can go back into the general fund. In particular, so the city has recently put forth legislation that does this. Okay, it's called a sale leaseback, where you as a public entity, you sell a public asset, then you lease it back. Okay, and with the whole idea that you can capitalize that sale and you have funds right now for projects that you need right now. See, in 20 years from now, if we don't invest in our community now, 20 years from now, the community that we have now, that's not going to be the community we have then. Because the people who are in school now and infrastructure, unless we invest in them now. See, children don't ask to be born. Okay? All right? So what they are born into is, we've got thousands of kids, okay, who come to school in Cincinnati public schools with homelessness, hunger, okay, and violence as their baggage. Why? I don't have an answer. But why? I know why it's happened. So mine is to make that change. And I started out doing that under Cincinnati Change, a nonprofit organization, formally on Juneteenth 2005. On that Sunday, we got our incorporation papers. And but I'm doing that now under Friends of the African Union, and we combined together to do Cincinnati under My Brother's Keeper because it's more inclusive. This is not just a black thing. This is not just an African thing. This is an American thing. This is American heritage. This is Cincinnati. It's not just a black thing. It's not just a white thing, a Hispanic. It is our thing. Because if we don't get this right, there's nothing to say that America is number one always. And if we don't invest in our own people and they don't become part of our society, then 20 years from now, they will be the beneficiary of the assets that they now currently own. Okay. And so our whole thing is that to do the sewer right is to take the sewer as it is now, take the fluid, okay, sewer water, and to re-engineer it so that we can take that and use it and distill it. And as we distill it, we're able to create steam, and we're able to generate power, but we're also able to generate clean water. As we generate clean water, we use that for organic farming, so thereby we increase the foodstuffs that are served to our kids in the public schools. Okay.
Oh yeah, and unfortunately, the public schools are not feeding their kids the healthy.
This is a cycle. But see, the great thing in Cincinnati, the health commissioner of the city did a longevity study, and that longevity study says if you live in South Fairmount, you're going to live 20 years less than if you live in Hyde Park. Yeah. So what we're putting in our program is the solution for the next 20 years of what we do on that. Okay? How do we equalize from South Fairmount to Hyde Park? What do we need to do? What makes South Fairmount so bad versus Hyde Park? What do we need to do? So we want to keep those jobs of the chemical plants, industrial plants. So that means we need to put in remediation infrastructure that supports them providing cleaner air in those communities and workforce. And so that's part of a civic duty to make an investment in our people so their longevity, their lives are longer.
No, I mean, I'm a total agreement with you. It's everything that's involved. It's not just food, but it's every single thing that's involved. It's mental health, as well as physical health, as well as economic health.
And that's why we're doing it under My Brother's Keeper, because it's a presidential.
And so what I want to do is that I've got some churches that want to come together with you, to see what we can do with My Brother's Keeper. I brought it
one of members of my men's group, okay, has volunteered building for us to be our headquarters.
Okay.
All right,
That's
and
good.
all thing we have to do is pay the insurance, and he wants me to administer. You know, has to.
Okay. All right. We can do that. We can make that happen.
All right.
We can make that happen.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
can.
Well, we made things, and now we'll make more things happen. So my name's Herschel Daniels. This is Robert Harris.
Yes. Good to see you. Good to be with you. And just keep on keeping on because it's going to work.
Friends of the African Union. You can get us at FAUchairman at gmail.com. We're on Twitter, okay, at FAU Chairman. And thank you.